The Braxton Family star Trina Braxton is under fire for her recent comments where she defends her late ex-husband, Gabe, for his inappropriate behavior with her niece, Ashley, who's being featured on season 2 of their reality show.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So I've been sitting on this story because, as you know, I've been traveling and I've been meaning to talk about this. As you know, we covered and recapped the last season of the Braxton, and most recently we talked about some of the things that have been playing out on social media from the trailer and sneak peek for the new season. And one of the things that I said that Tamar did not like was the fact that it feels as if there's a new trend with this new era of the Braxtons where they're weaponizing the trauma of their niece and nephew for a storyline. That was my feeling. Tamar then later came out, told me to rot in hell, fine. Then she was performing and said, guys, I just want to apologize ahead of the second season. And I was sort of like, okay, is she doing damage control? Because what we learned in the sneak peek was that they were going to be bringing their niece, Ashley Braxton, who looks like Tawanda, but that's not Tawanda's child. Ashley is the child of Michael Braxton, their brother. There have been reports that Michael Braxton has sent cease and desist to everybody, including his own daughter and apparently, allegedly, his sisters, because you will see in the sneak peek that Tamar says that she received a cease and desist. She never said who. I don't know. I haven't watched the first episode yet in regards to who may have sent her the cease and desist. But Tamar accuses Tony of wanting to bring Ashley onto the show. But Tamar wanted to bring Ashley onto her podcast, where she talked about mental health, and she feels as if no one protected her, so she wanted to help protect Ashley. Remember, Ashley was the first one to come to TikTok and talk about her story, and her story basically was that when she was 16 years old, so this was like over 16 years ago, when she was 16, one of her aunt's husbands was inappropriate with her via text. She says that this became exposed to the aunt. The aunt at the beginning was very supportive of her, wanted to be there for her, ultimately turning on her and not really being there for her. A lot of people were trying to piece together and they were like, wait, is it Gabe? Because if you watch the Braxton Family Values show, you remember Gabe admitting on the show, and there have been insinuations of this particular incident, but him admitting on the show, him having a problem with corn and being inappropriate during their marriage with other individuals. There's history that's documented when it comes to Gabe. This continues because, as I said before, Ashley is being featured on the show and she's telling her story. And Trina decided to do another social media live, because this happened in season 1 where she went on social media and everyone was just like, are you okay? No, really, are you okay? Because of her relationship, her marriage that she has now, and some of the things that were playing out on the show and how she was addressing it on social media. Well, now she's coming under fire for some more crazy things that she's saying on her social media, where it seems as if she's defending Gabe and not her niece still.
Yup.
For real, 100% forget what either side of the public says, for real. Okay, I'm going to say this. I cannot negate anyone's feelings in any way, shape, or form. Right. And
immediately I feel like, okay, you're just doing damage control. Immediately you're getting ahead of what you're about to say that's probably going to receive backlash. I don't believe that Trina believes that at all. I don't, especially when she later says that she doesn't believe that families should be taking things to social media. This is the same narrative where, very much like what Tamar is saying, no one was there for her, supported her, where everything that happens in the family should stay in the family. Oh, the same way that this stayed in the family, you did nothing to protect your niece? Huh? No, it's 2025. We're not doing that anymore.
I will say this. I think that you can never put a time limit on someone's feelings, their emotions, or even their version of what the truth may be to them.
Boom. The version that is so condescending, Trina. The version of their truth. Didn't you see the actual alleged inappropriate text messages that she's claiming? The proof is in the pudding. The text messages. I wonder if Ashley still has those text messages. The proof is in the pudding. Apparently, you saw those text messages when she was just 16 years old and you did nothing.
But I do wish that the people that were spoken about were able to tell their own version of their story, of their truth, because they're no longer with us.
Yeah, because it did.
Girl, that is such a cop-out. And I get it. Gabe is not here to defend himself, but this is not as if you're finding this out after Gabe died. You found out about this, I'll say allegedly, you found out about this while he was alive here. This happened 16 years ago. You could have resolved this while he was alive. You could have resolved this even before Ashley even came to social media. You could have changed this, but you didn't. You did not protect your niece.
And that's not always fair. It's not always fair. And people have to talk about things when they're ready to talk about them. And yes, you guys are loud, Caleb.
You're loud as hell out there.
But I can't disregard anybody's feelings. I said what I said.
And when someone says that, but I can't take away from someone's feelings. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. You're just saying that because you know that's what people want to hear. They want you. You're just basically saying that for damage control. You don't mean that. Oh, well, people have their feelings. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. Because you were not there to protect your niece. I want to highlight this tweet as well. Let me just bring this tweet up really quickly in regards to this, because this really sparked a lot of people's feelings when this episode aired. So this is a tweet from Taya on social media, who happens to follow me as well. Let me just let me pause this here. So Taya on X says, the Braxtons Trina ain't ish. I don't give an F that Gabe ain't here to tell his side of the story. This would have been a slam dunk for you to blame him and mend your family. But she's protecting dead Gabe says a lot about her. Guess Ashley was telling the truth after all. Trina is trash. And again, we've seen the signs and symptoms. No one's perfect on this show. But we've seen the signs. There's something just very odd about Trina and her relationships. I mean, look, there's something very odd about Trina and a lot of the sisters' relationships when it comes to men. I was just watching a clip from Braxton Family Values about Tawanda. Was she buying, she was going to, I forgot what she was doing, but Tamar was really upset with her because she felt like she was being too supportive of her ex-husband at the time and taking care of him. She's like, I bought you that car and you're driving him around in that car. I mean, a lot of people will say that Tamar is vindicated in a lot of ways. But look, I will say this, a broken clock is right at least twice a day. So I think the entire family has their issues. And yes, there are moments where Tamar is 100% right. Because even in this season, you saw that scene with Trina and Tawanda talking about the situation. Very much, that's when I knew. I was like, oh, so the Ashley incident involves Gabe and Trina. But again, I look at Tawanda with the side eye because I felt like they weaponized their nephew's trauma against his own father and talked about the father in a damaging way on the show, but refused to have him film. And when the option up to have him film came up, they were ready to shut production down. We have to remember that, yes, Toni Braxton and Tamar, they make their own money from singing, performing, and other businesses. Tawanda and Trina, this is their bread and butter. They're making a ton of money from being on this show. So they will weaponize, and even if this is a way that Trina is getting bashed, that's the crazy thing about social media. That's the crazy thing about reality television. Because even when you're getting slammed on social media, but you're like, but people are watching and I'm making a check and this is probably going to secure us another season. It's like this weird, terrible traumatic cycle that we're seeing here. Because again, they rely heavily on this check. More so than a Tamar or a Tony, because they have other things. They have other streams of income. But they also are making a check off of this as well. Let's be clear. It's not like they haven't had their own reported financial issues before. But let's continue to see what Trina has to say in regards to Ashley's story.
Everybody's entitled, and you know.
T. Cannon, I'm a Braxton follower, period. They shouldn't watch y'all if they want to hate or be negative. Well, you know what? But even in that vein, people.
I got to stop that, because you can't say that people can't have anything to say when you decide to go on a reality show and put this out to the world. And a lot of people aren't necessarily watching the show. They're seeing the clips on social media and they're like, what? So you reserve all your rights in regards to saying people can't have an opinion when you decide to film a reality show, and especially when you're exposing someone else's trauma. All rights are gone in regards to that. I don't think people should be threatening you, bullying you, anything like that, but people can still share their opinion about how they feel on what you're sharing on this reality show that you're making money off of.
Have a right to their opinion.
Sometimes people watch just so they can.
That happened, but I think that you can call it family secrets. You can call it, Braxton no family values, like I saw some people saying.
That's not the name anymore anyway.
Right, it's just the Braxtons right now. I don't think, like I said on the show, I'm going to reiterate it again.
The joke is late.
Everything is not for public consumption. I think that I'm not saying the covered wagon. I'm just saying that things should be talked about, things should be dealt with, and things should be discussed if you want real, true healing. I don't think that's.
But when the opportunity arose over 16 years ago, Trina, you didn't address it. And even before this came to social media, you could have addressed this. Or when it came to social media, you could have addressed this. You're now addressing it now that it's on a show where you're making money off of this as a storyline, because I don't know what your personal storyline is this season. But now you're still benefiting from your niece's trauma because you didn't do anything 16 years ago. And in those 16 years, you still haven't done anything. You could have been, you know what? Gabe is gone. I could reach out to my niece and heal whatever that was. And you didn't. You didn't. And you're still making excuses for Gabe, who's dead and gone. No one's saying that you have to be like, Gabe is trash, blah, blah, blah. But what you can do is recognize, you know what? I did not do what I should have done. I should have protected you, and I was wrong for that. And you still can't do that. You're still making it hurt her truth. You're still saying that this should not come to social media. You had 16 years before it could have come to social media, and you did nothing. And she was telling her truth. And again, people sharing things on social media, people sharing things on a reality show can be healing for other people watching it and could inspire other people to share their story. It can. I'm not saying that it can't, because I know I've been critical of them sharing their nephew's story and Ashley's story on this platform, because I'm like, what are your intentions by doing this? Are you doing this for money and for the show? Or are you really trying to help Ashley?
Social media is a forum for people to hear things, especially if it involves them firsthand. Social media is not a place to hear things firsthand. It's just not. And I love you guys enough to tell the truth, and I love me enough to protect myself and my family and my children. Would I be willing?
Here's the thing. She's talking about protecting her children. Her children are grown adults at this particular point. But at the same time, this is played out on Braxton Family Values. Your children know exactly what Gabe has admitted to before. So what about protecting your brother's child? Because he's clearly not protecting her either, because he's also sending cease and desist allegedly. Like, she's feeling like no one's protecting her. And this is where I have to be like, okay, at least Tamar is seemingly trying to protect Ashley. The other side of this is, too, we have to remember, this is one thing when we know about these stories that happen in families, but when it happens like this, where people have a platform, a huge platform, to spin whatever narrative. Because remember, they're producers of the show, so they can spin this whatever way they want to spin this.
Have a conversation, absolutely, but I think that needed to happen prior to. Do you feel like this is all worth it for all your family business to be put out there? Is it all worth it? And I'm going to actually address that question and say absolutely, and I'm going to tell you why. Because our family is just like everybody else's family. And there might be something that happened within our family that might make somebody say, you know what, that's happening in my family and we can reach resolve.
Well, here's the thing. And this is why this situation is a little icky for me. Because although she's receiving backlash for what's playing out on the show, she also receives a check. And that's where things get murky. When you're trying to figure out, are people being genuine in regards to, like, are you genuinely sorry? Are you genuinely looking out for Ashley? Because when money is involved and popularity is involved and the continuation of a contract is involved, things definitely get murky. And I feel like Trina was talking out two sides of her face. They're like, well, you know, everyone's entitled to their truth, but we shouldn't hear about this first on social media. She told you 16 years ago. You knew about this 16 years ago and you did nothing. And no one's saying that, look, there are plenty of people probably that have been in your position, but this was an opportunity for you to actually heal the relationship of the person that's still here. Heal the relationship of the person that was not protected, the minor that was not protected. Because God forbid, and I don't know or recall what may have happened to Trina. We know what's happened to Tamar because Tamar has opened up about it. But your niece was not protected and you perpetuated that. And now you're still trying to do damage control and perpetuate that. And you get a check off of this as a storyline. Guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on the new season of the Braxtons. Let me know if I should watch the first episode and recap it and get back into season 2. And I want to know how you feel about what Trina had to say about this whole issue. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.